There we go. I think we're good. I don't see my face yet, but it should probably be popping up here in the next few seconds, I would hope. Let me hop out of there for a second. Welcome back, everybody. I know I just talked with you guys about 4 or 5 hours ago now. Loki says hello. You guys can't see him, but he's over here. But nice to see you guys all again. He's excited. We went to go pick up my mom from dialysis, so he's all amped up with energy, wanting to go outside and play. But today I thought we'd continue on here because you guys can see on the daily chart now as far as Bitcoin's concerned. Now that we have had that close about an hour ago, we now officially have that death cross there on the daily chart, which is going to be a bad sign for the next few days as far as Bitcoin's concerned. I would say over the next week in reality. We'll have to wait and see again what these numbers turn out to be as far as tomorrow, the jobs numbers, CPI next week, and on top of that, Fed minutes coming the week after that here. However, there still is an opportunity for us to find some type of support here, but that opportunity is probably slipping away from us right now as we're starting to feel some other problems right now. What I wanted to do with you guys, first of all, everybody, is I had been watching CNBC and Fox Business after I had ended the stream with you guys today, kind of around closing time. And I had been watching CNBC and I saw two important things I think you guys should be aware of. The first one is what's going on with Silicon Valley Bank. The news was breaking when we were streaming, and we talked about it for a little bit, but it was a pretty crazy move that we had saw from that one. Just so you guys can see if you guys haven't seen yet. There you go. It was at $272 just yesterday. Now it's at 106. And I believe if we were to go into the after hours trading, I believe it's actually below $106 now. Yeah, now it's at $87. So Silicon Valley Bank is in a full-on crisis mode here. I was looking on CNBC earlier, and I think it said something about like VC investors pulling out. So I wanted to watch, actually, yeah, it's right here, one of the videos. I wanted to watch a couple of these videos with you guys because what I found interesting of one of the segments wasn't so much this news about VC investors pulling out. Of course, if a bank's struggling, you want to take your money out and you just want to be prepared, right? But there was this other part here from CNBC that says why Silicon Valley Bank isn't a canary in the coal mine. So I thought we might listen to that as well. And then as far as everything else, I was looking on Fox earlier today, and they had been talking a little bit more about GOP type of stuff when it comes to energy and the JP Morgan stuff. This JP Morgan stuff when it comes to Epstein has been very interesting. I'm not going to go over it because it's not too much of an investment thing, but as far as news, that Epstein stuff is still like really potent. So I'd give it a look on Fox Business if you guys haven't already, okay? Now, as far as the overall market, again, we'll just do a quick update before we start hopping in here to some CNBC stuff. We did officially break down a few days ago now that death cross that we officially have now, definitely not a good sign. And hey, Jonathan, hey, General Brandon, and hey, I've gotten it. Hope you guys are doing well. With all these with all this data coming out tomorrow, especially about the jobs and whatnot, we have one opportunity, guys. We need to make it count because if we have bad news tomorrow and we see the NASDAQ and the Dow and the SPY continue to move down, Bitcoin's probably going to go down below 20,000 easily, if not try to head back up to the mid 18,000s, okay? And that's something we probably don't want to see so fast. Usually when we see stuff like that happen, there's a big whiplash effect. Come down here, whiplash, and then we keep on going down like that. Some people may want that. If you guys want to trade it, oh my gosh, yeah, go for it. But just be careful because it's going to be hard to catch that bottom whenever it does occur. Now, let me get it here. As far as Ethereum, we had already talked about this before. It did break down as well with Bitcoin hovering over the 200 daily moving average here. Again, looking at another death cross here, and we had talked about this before. I'm just kind of reiterating all this. Excuse me, another death cross, not good. Eventually, you are going to see a death cross between the 20, the 50, and the 200 daily moving averages, and that's probably going to lead us back down lower. So I think if you guys are looking for some longer-term plays here, you're probably going to have a better opportunity if you guys were just to wait a little bit. The other side to that, of course, is maybe jobs numbers are very good for tomorrow, good news is bad, which is the weird thing. Or maybe CPI isn't as bad. Maybe CPI comes down, or maybe the Fed, doesn't raise interest rates by more than 25 basis points over the next 13, 14 days here. But you can already see a lot of the assets, like the larger market cap plays, they're really coming down quite a bit. You see Ethereum coming down, Bitcoin coming down, Dogecoin went down quite a bit as well today over the past week or so. Link continuing off of its breakdown that it had. SHIB over here breaking down as well. Litecoin as well broken down since yesterday. You can see a few different breakdowns, honestly, for Litecoin. But basically, nothing seems to be safe. You can see over here, Ethereum Classic broke down a while ago from its support levels. Just not looking so hot across the market. We kind of got a sense this was coming, right? Especially because we were talking about all these breakdowns. But the fact that it came down so hard off of what we had been seeing over the stock market, that was what's so interesting. Because again, the Dow Jones was breaking down below the 200 today. NASDAQ getting closer and closer to breaking down. And I think that's why it's so important that we actually have decent numbers for the market coming tomorrow. And I don't exactly know what good numbers for the market means, because if the job market numbers are very strong, there's a sense that they could be too strong. And if they're too strong, that gives more weight to Jerome Powell saying, hey, we can raise interest rates even more and the economy is still going to be fine. Which in the short term, sure. In the more medium term, not so much, right? So I think if we have like another 2-3% negative day as far as the NASDAQ is concerned, it's not going to be a good sign for any of us, okay? Because that means we're most likely going to continue on this little trajectory, if you will, where we're coming back down, and then we probably hit some type of support, perhaps around 11,253, maybe. But that'd be an abysmal next couple weeks, right? So just keep your eyes on it, everybody. I don't want to talk about the same stuff too much here as far as what we talked about earlier today, but just keep your eyes out. Now, interesting thing here before we go over here, go talk about these videos and stuff. Sorry, guys. I have been chewing on ice for the last hour, and when I chew on a bunch of ice, my tongue gets numb, and so when my tongue gets numb, it's hard for me to actually talk. But the NASDAQ futures aren't looking good, the SPY futures aren't looking good, and the Dow futures aren't looking good as well. So these things better somehow turn around in a hurry, otherwise we're going to have another rough day tomorrow, okay? Now, here's the first video I wanted you guys to talk about, because it is talking about the banks. This is a short video. I'm not even going to play the whole thing, but here we go.
All right, let's take another look at shares of Silicon Valley after hours. We have new reporting on companies pulling money out of the struggling bank. And we're joined on the phone by Hugh Son. Hugh, what can you tell us?
Hey, Tyler, it's good to be with you over the phone. So there have been headlines that the VC community has broadly encouraged their portfolio companies to pull out their money.
He said VC, not DC. I thought he said DC at the beginning. It's VC for venture capital.
To the exception of $250K, which would still be insured. I wanted to find out the reality of that. The first thing I did was talk to a startup founder who's been a good source of mine over the last few years. And, he basically said he woke up this morning to calls, texts, and messages over various apps like Signal and Telegram, basically saying that people were concerned about the stability of Silicon Valley Bank. Over the course of the day, he pulled out half of his deposits, which were in the tens of millions of dollars, and left the other half. And it's basically, going to watch the stock and the communication from Silicon Valley Bank over the course of the next few days to see whether he's going to pull out the rest of it. At the end of our call, he noticed that the stock had been down another 20% and said that he may have to go and pull more money out. The other aspect of that is, my question was, how hard is it to actually get your money out? Is it difficult? It's essentially 5 clicks on their internet portal, which makes it very easy to do. And so it didn't take very long for him to do it. Other CEOs have told him that, the Silicon Valley website portal was a little slow, perhaps because there are a lot of people logging on right now. But in general, it is not hard to remove your deposits from Silicon Valley Bank.
That's about it. So a lot of venture capital money is coming in and coming out of it. Okay. Now I know I may be cutting out a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't. It sounds good on your end. Okay, that's good. I have been having mic issues every now and again with Loki, so hopefully it ends up fixing itself up here, guys. But this is when the stock price was 82. Remember we had just talked about this a couple seconds ago. SIV. Let's go down here. The 5-minute chart. It's now $87, so it's pumped up a little bit since I think they were talking. But again, imagine your bank stock within a few days going from $270 down here to 87 for a loss of 67%. That's kind of crazy. Look at the monthly chart. I mean, talk about a wild time. This thing used to be at $777. Now it's at like 87. All right. So let that be a lesson that nothing is, not even the big banks are safe in this type of environment here. And that's partially because they were forced to sell all their bonds off. But this is pretty crazy when you look at it. This thing has had a pretty robust move. This is 2008. It's had a really good move. A lot of venture capital. I know a lot of people that work at Silicon Valley Bank. They're probably freaking out just as much as everybody else. But definitely some crazy moves here. Now, as far as the other video, I wanted you guys to watch very fast. This is another short. Well, it's a longer one, but we're not going to be listening to it for too long. But here, let me play this for you guys very fast.
Let's add a little spice to the stew with Gerard Cassidy, head of U.S. Bank Equity Strategy and large cap bank analyst at RBC Capital Markets. Gerard, welcome. What do you make of today, specifically in the banking sector, the Silicon Valley Bank and other things? How concerning is all of this to you?
Thank you for having me on the program, Tyler. And always concerned when you see stocks move so dramatically like you saw today. But as some of your colleagues have pointed out, this is a unique situation with a few banks. When you think about Silicon Valley in particular, you have to remember in 2019, before the pandemic, the company had about $71 billion in assets. As of the end of 22, it had $211 billion. Its securities portfolio went from $29 billion to $128 billion. They were the sweet spot for what we saw in the equity markets during the pandemic. As you all recall, the IPO market in 2021 was off the charts. So this company, unfortunately, had so much money to put to use. They put it into bonds. As you guys talked about, the yields went the other way. And their funding, this is the critical part. And this is where I'm glad some of your panelists have talked about this. This bank is different because they don't have low-cost consumer funding like most of our banks do. So when you look at the Bank America or you look at a regional bank like M&T or Fifth Third, these companies have 40 to 50 to 60% of funding from small consumer deposits, less than $250,000. At Silicon Valley, that number was 2.5%. So they have more interest-sensitive money that needs to have rates paid higher to keep that money. And that's tough when the bond market's doing what it's doing.
So to put a point on it, compared with the banks you just mentioned, their source of funds is what?
Very good question, Tyler. The source of funds for the traditional bank is consumer deposits. And think about how long it takes to build consumer deposit. It takes decades. And when you think about our checking accounts that we have at our banks, we're not going to leave our banks with our checking accounts, and especially for the deposits that are less than $250,000. Those, think of mom and pop, grandma and grandpa deposits with $5,000 in them. Those are gold in this kind of rate environment. And Tyler, it's been 15 years since we had to look at the right side of the balance sheet at deposit mix, and the banks with the good deposit mix, and Silicon Valley didn't have that. Those banks are okay, and this sell-off was unfortunate. It was indiscriminate.
So Gerard, it went across the money center banks too. So why did this happen, and especially the regional banks, even though, again, I pointed out just the percentage weighting of what SVB would do to that entire index if it sold?
Okay, so what he's talking about very fast is a lot of other banking sectors got hit by this. So I'm starting off with the highest percentage banks for the day, and you can see some of these are at ranges of like 6, 3, 1%. Like you can all see there's a few profitable banks today, okay? But when you actually look at these banks here, the market caps are so tiny that you're like, nobody would ever invest these banks. 86 million, 56 million, 22 million, 116 million, $10 billion bank, but that's in Chile, right? Another Chile bank, 140 million. Now, they're not really high market caps, okay? When we talk about the ones that lost the most money, Silicon Valley Bank down 60%, Silvergate, we know all about them, down 42%, Pac West Bank Corp down 25%, First Republic Bank, this one's 17 billion, down 16%, Western Alliance Bank, 6-7 billion, 12%, Signature Bank down 12%, Zion down 11%. A lot of banks got hit by this. I'm trying to find a bank that you guys would probably know more of. Let's go maybe page number 2. Let's see. Horizon. Oh, it's on the 7th. We need to get to the 6s, yeah. Heritage. Excuse me. Southern Missouri Bank Corp down 6. Geez, everything. Signature Bank. Okay, there has to be like a Chase Bank or something here eventually. Berkshire Hills. Maybe there's all trusted banks. I just know Fifth Third Core Bank. I know that one, but I don't think you guys know that one. That one's down 6%. Okay, maybe I should just go by market cap. That made my life a little bit easier. Really? No. I mean, Deutsche Bank was down 3. What's up here? U.S. Bank Corp, that's 63 billion. That was down 7% today. My gosh. Wow. These are some heavy-duty banks. They're all like having some pretty nasty days here. First Republic Bank, that's 17 billion. That one was down 16%. I guess I need to get it regional. I need to get more diversified, I guess. Yeah, there's JP Morgan. JP Morgan was down 5.5. Bank of America was down 6. Wells Fargo was down 6. Okay, so there was a lot of banks having some issues. So we can finish this conversation off here. But it was a pretty bad day for banks, guys. Like, really, really bad day.
Sold off 60%. But are we imputing a bad securities portfolio on a lot of these regionals? But how about the biggest banks with the best balance sheets in the world?
Yep, no, you're right. And I think what the market is worried about is, you know, as you guys talked about with the employment numbers coming tomorrow, we have to make sure the Federal Reserve gets this inflation under control. And if we're sitting here in 6 months and inflation is still at 5-6%, we're not going to see a terminal rate of 5.5%. Therefore, if rates go up much higher, then these bond problems become more of a problem for everybody. But we have to remember that the banks are not forced to sell these bonds. Most of these are governments and agency bonds, and they are not credit risk, but you need the funding, that right side of the balance sheet, to ride it out, and the money centers can.
There you go. Excuse me. There you go. Let's go back to the 1-minute chart here. Oh, well, there we go. Bitcoin's falling again. So another show for you guys at this point. We're breaking down below all the support levels right now. Even though the stock market's even closed right now, it's not even enough to stop the this kind of, what do you want to call it? Cascading effect, so to speak. Sorry, my ear was itchy right there. But yeah, so we can talk about whatever you guys want to. This is going to be much more of a chill stream now. We're going to do one more recap on everything just so you guys have an understanding of some of these larger market cap plays here. But it looks like Bitcoin is continuing to make new lows on this current trend that we've been seeing. Especially because you guys know we had that sell signal here. We didn't talk about it too much at the time because I wasn't even sure if it was going to be accurate. But I mean, ever since then, it did end up playing out very well. So I think for those of you guys that want to, I think tomorrow's Friday, yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to reach out to one of my contacts at BitGet, one of my contacts at BingX, and I'm going to try to see if they can help me do some copy trade setup, and I'll be trading 2 to 5x leverage plays, probably 2 to 3x, honestly, leverage plays, based off of the daily change of character signals, right? So you have the one here that worked out very well. This one worked out okay, but not as well. Change of character here that didn't work out too well. It worked out, I guess, okay, but only for a few days. The one right here that didn't work well, the one that worked there well, worked good there, right? And here good, and here not good, and here good, of course. I'm going to go reach out to my contacts there and say, hey, can you help me set up a trading account to do this? And I'm going to see if they say yes or no, and I'll let you guys know what they end up coming back up with, what they come back to me with, excuse me. But I think it'd be useful, but I'm only going to be doing it for daily and 4-hour charts, okay? So I want these to be more high-quality positions, because so far, if you go over here, it's worked out, right? Big boom down after we had the red signal, big move up after we had the green signal. This one did not work. I'm going to be transparent. These are not 100% accurate. Well, I never said they were, but you guys get what I'm saying. Went down here. This one did not work out as well. Kind of broke even at the end of the day. And then, of course, the one over here that worked out very well back during the last bull market, or last big spike we had in January, right? So I think I'm going to use both of those, and I'm going to see if I can do it a certain way, or if I have to have 2 separate trading accounts. Regardless, I'll be doing separate trades just like that. Maybe they'll be on the same account. I don't know. But I'll reach out to Chris and I forget the guy's name. He's Chinese, or no, Taiwanese, I think. No, from Singapore. But they're really chill guys. So I'll reach out to them and see if they can help me out at all. and then we'll see. I'll let you guys know how that works out. BitGet isn't available for most of you guys out here in the States. So most of you guys would probably have to go through Bing X. This is only if you guys wanted to do the copy trading with me. Most of you guys could probably just do this at your own leisure at home, okay? But that's if you guys just want to do it on autopilot. I'll be doing some trading. I'll kind of manage the portfolio and see how it turns out. But it has been very, very interesting to kind of watch all this play out. These will not be massive positions. There'll probably be like $100 to $200. So if you plop in like $5,000, I mean, it's not going to turn that whole amount of money into the trades. Okay, I want to have this start off small, then maybe over time I'll start to increase it bit by bit as I feel more confident about these signals moving forward. Okay. And hey, thanks for subscribing, man. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, so that'll be the news for today. I feel kind of confident about the tool now that I've kind of done enough back testing. I've kind of shown it with you guys through the streams for day after day after day now. I'll reach out to my contacts here and see if they can help me out here as far as copy trading is concerned. And hey, Bideford, happy to see you back. And hey, Babyfish, Bitcoin below 20,000. Oh yeah, it's been below 20,000 for all like 5 minutes now. Oh gosh, I guess now. Did we dip down below earlier? No, we got close earlier. But Bitcoin continues to drop now, so somebody is making some good money here. For real estate short sales on the rise. Oh, I bet. And hey, Ken, happy to see you back. I look at this good news. Good things are breaking on the banking side. Maybe Powell is going to be cautious when this next move down to 50. Well, it depends on which banks you're looking at. So there are those regional banks right there. Those ones deal more with high net worth clients and things of that nature. Then you have the banks on the other side, which are more of like where you and I and most people would put their money, right? Like a JP Morgan Chase or a Bank of America or a U.S. Bank or a Key Bank. I don't know what other banks are. The Wells Fargo. I don't know who would want to bank with Wells Fargo these days, though, right? But then there are those banks. Those banks, is that video is kind of describing, they can make it through the process a little bit easier. But all these other regional banks, yeah, they're definitely going to have a little bit more trouble. Remember, Silicon Valley Bank is at about $87 right now. Just like less than 2 years ago, it was at $770-ish. I mean, talk about a wild time. And I know they do a lot of venture capital stuff. Like I said, I've been to their office plenty of times in downtown Seattle. It's a very nice office. I love it over there. Every time I go there, I stop right at the Amazon Go store just to get a taste of modern technology, right? But it is pretty darn interesting to see all this happening at this point. And you can definitely see some buys coming in right now. That could actually help us out a tad. But let's kind of go down the list here. Let's go to the daily chart. We know Ethereum is trying to hold on to the 200 daily moving average. It doesn't look like it wants to do that after all. It looks like it probably wants to continue falling down. We'll check this out a little bit later. Well, pretty much tomorrow, right? We still have like 22 hours left. We want to stay above this. Dollar index, we don't have to talk about it too much. It's not really doing much at this point in time. Continuing to do this uptrend. Slight dip here, but again, we're just holding on right now. Matic has broken down. You're seeing the Matic death cross inbound here over the next 2 to 3 days, probably happening sometime over the weekend here. Hopefully we can bounce off of the 200 daily moving average and try to have that reversal maybe back up here to $1.06 or so. Be careful with it, okay? Dogecoin had a heavy fall down today, breaking down below the lows we had over here on 6.5 cents. Might find another stop here on close to like right below 6 cents or so, like another half penny, a little bit more than that coming down. XRP is one of those few things that hasn't actually had a full breakdown yet, but this, I guess you would say that this also didn't have some crazy rally like a lot of other stuff did based off of the January rally, right? Like this is just January. It really didn't have some type of really cool move like the Matics, the Ethereums, you know, stuff like that. Didn't really have a strong move there, so that's reasonable. Link, after the breakdown we had all the way back over here, what was this? This is March 4th, so a few days ago. Coming back down. It's hovering around a support level from what's over here in my head from a while ago, but yeah. Got STMX coming down after a breakdown, Sheep coming down after a breakdown, Litecoin breakdowns, Ethereum Classic breakdowns, Solana breakdowns. My gosh, yeah. Yeah. Oh well. We'll get used to it, guys. It's not the end of the world here, but definitely I would say a buying opportunity for most people if you guys want to buy some dips or have some fun with it. But let's go back to the 1 minute chart here. You're definitely seeing some more volatility. If you guys are looking over there, okay, yeah. You guys are definitely seeing there's some really big trades going on right now, and whales are trying to have their fun. We haven't seen anything big as well from whale number 3/whale number 4 now. They haven't been making any moves, so that's been something I've been looking at. They haven't really done anything here. That's right here. The ISO 22 is supposed to get turned on March 14th. Oh, there you go. And hey, Danny, happy to see you back, my man. And hey, Little Cola, happy to see you back, man. Let me know if you have any questions. Mama Tank Part 2 to let you love to see it. Dude, it's been interesting because I know, like, what was it? I don't know. I just feel like so many people have been so bullish and so bearish. It's been fun to kind of watch this wave over the past few weeks. Because look at this. I mean, the fact that Bitcoin got back up to 25,000, that was a great achievement for Bitcoin. That was a really nice pump that we saw. But all of a sudden now we're just trying to hold back. We're trying to hold $20,000 after all said and done. There we go. Let's get out of Fox News very fast. Let's go back over to CNBC. I wonder if there's any other big news here. Bitcoin Ether fall after go-to crypto bank Silvergate announced. See, I hate when they label articles like this. We all know Silvergate is not causing Bitcoin to go down today. We all know that, right? What's causing Bitcoin to go down today is the fact that the whole freaking stock market broke below the support levels we'd been talking about for weeks at this point. I hate how they try to manipulate it. It seems like Silvergate is the reason that Bitcoin's falling, when in fact, Silvergate is not the reason Bitcoin's falling. It's not. Heck, I would say that Silicon Valley Bank is having a bigger bigger effect on the crypto market. You know how many crypto companies or I shouldn't say crypto. Blockchain startups deal with Silicon Valley Bank? A lot, okay? That's the reason I go to these, to talk to people that are starting their blockchain businesses, and I help them with their marketing and just getting started with some of this stuff, and I therefore get some new contacts to grow my little network out and get invited to cool parties and stuff. But Silvergate is not the problem here with Bitcoin, guys. It's not the issue. I just hate how they what do you call it? But I bet if you go to the article, they're not going to say it's actually the fault. They're just going to say, hey, this is happening and this is happening. They're not, maybe there's a reason, maybe there's a correlation, but no, just one's happening over here, one's happening over here. That's usually how they label it. Crypto prices fell Thursday after Silvergate, a bank that had been in the center of crypto industry's growth, made a decision to shut down. Bitcoin slid 7% to 20,474. Ether lost about the same amount and was last trading around 1440. The slight move down began late Wednesday, a few hours after Silvergate announced it would wind down operations and liquidate its crypto-friendly bank. The relatively small size of the move indicates the cryptocurrency's relatively small size of the move. Relatively small size of. This is not a small move. Okay, I feel like if I read that, I'm reading misinformation about, and this is coming from people that don't understand the way the markets work. They're not technical people, they're just journalists that are trying to cover the crypto markets, which is very difficult. It's like, that's like asking Matt Wallace to do an in-depth technical analysis breakdown on Bitcoin or Dogecoin. He's not going to be able to do it, right? He can draw a few lines as far as trend lines, but he's not going to be able to give you guys some technical breakdowns, maybe put a Gann fan up there, maybe some resistance levels, support levels with the fibs and stuff like that. He's not going to be able to do that type of tricky stuff. I feel like that's the same thing with the journalists and not understanding how technicals, like, say, hey, we shouldn't be buying around 25,000 because we're too close to resistance. Or, hey, everybody, we just broke down a few days ago. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes the journalists are just too journalistic, but I mean, we need the journalists, so what can I say there? Man. And hey, Larry, pick up Doge again back at 0.057. I mean, I would say that's a pretty decent zone to be loading back up on Dogecoin if you want to swing it back up. If it heads down there before we have the Fed meeting on the 22nd, it's on the 21st and 22nd, but the 22nd is when they announce the data, announce the rate hike. I'd be more cautious about how much I want to spend, but I would say that'd be a first, a good start to a position if you wanted to take one for Dogecoin, especially since it's at such a low point, right? Careful with CPI next week, jobs data tomorrow, and especially the rate increase coming up in about 13 days or so. Regardless, it's just not gonna. It's gonna be one of those more volatile times. I think if we actually look up the, let me just, I can just go right here. Dude, I'm so backwards today. There we go. The VIX. The VIX is starting to pump back up here a little bit more. We're going to see if it goes up a little bit higher. Can I go over here to another VIX? That's the Pepperstone one. VIX Volatility Index, Capital Com. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's just still similar, yeah. But you're seeing volatility tick back up just a tad. This is the weekly chart as well. Maybe I should go to the daily chart. You can see that nice little boom. Either tomorrow we're going to be slowing back down a little bit, or we're going to start to accelerate here with another 2 to 3% downward day for the Nasdaq and the SPY. Definitely leading us to probably have the VIX go back up towards like $24-25, which should be very interesting from there. But again, there's no real more big news until tomorrow when we have this job support. After that, it's just Saturday, Sunday. Everything else is closed. Crypto's still kind of humming along, but nothing really big is happening. And then next week we have CPI data, I believe, and then we also have something else coming out next week as well. Yeah, I guess tomorrow we have the employment report, U.S. unemployment rate, average hourly wages year over year, and federal budget. No news Monday. Tuesday, core CPI, consumer price index, inflation. Wednesday, retail sales ex auto, core PPI, that's also important. Thursday, initial jobless claims, it's important but not too important. Import price index, housing stats, a little bit. Industrial production. So I'd say Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday are going to be pretty important days for us next week. And, we got to hope that maybe we have some type of balancing out where, like, maybe Tuesday's bad, and then Wednesday's good, and then Friday's bad again. We can kind of moderate this. But if everything's bad, oh boy, we're going to be coming down pretty hard next week, which won't be too much fun. I'm hoping, I'd probably more of the standpoint that 2 of the 3 are going to be bad. And what I'm talking about is the core PPI, core CPI. Maybe you can add retail sales in there if you want to. And then you have the jobless claims, which is temporary, but that's smaller stuff for Thursday. But industrial production and capital capacity utilization, I'd be interested to see what they actually are going through here. But yeah, should be interesting. Because you see last week we had durable good orders down more than expected. Core orders up a little bit, yeah. Pending home sales up. Yeah, that was a bad sign. Good people buying houses, but Jerome Powell says, "Oh no, I need to raise interest rates more." Nothing here. Retail inventories, no. Manufacturing, no. Industrial jobless claims. Jobless claims are fine, a little bit better than expected. Productivity revision. Oh wow. Q4 revision down. They said that it was originally 2.5%. They revised it down to 1.7%. That's not good. Unit labor costs. Oh, labor costs went up. It was. They said it was 1.4, but it was really 3.2. Wow, inflation might be really sticky at this point if they're not getting the costs down. I mean, I picked up my mom from dialysis like an hour ago, like an hour and a half ago now. And she was asking me if I wanted any food for picking her up, and I said, "Oh no, I'm okay. I just had a ham and cheese sandwich with some, homemade potato chips." But I was joking with her because as I was driving, we were waiting to take a turn, and I was looking at an Arby's, and my mom knows I hate Arby's, but my mom loves Arby's, so she says, "You want some Arby's?" And I was like, "Hell no," but I was looking at the stickers on the Arby's that say like their current sales. Their current sale at Arby's was like $2 for $7 for a sandwich. Like, do you guys ever remember like when they used to have like 2 for $5 or 2 for $4 deals? Like, whatever happened to those type of deals? I feel like inflation is getting more ingrained in our memory because of all the social media stuff or all the media we're exposed to on a daily basis. We already know this about Americans and ourselves. We are a very short-term memory type of folks. We move on to the next news cycle, the next event all the time. It's only when economics sticks into our, kicks us in the butt that we're like, whoa, hey, and that's more expensive. I see that expensive gas sign every day. I see that expensive eggs every single day, right? And I think inflation just might be kind of more sticky than we think. we think. I mean, I think it is, but not this sticky where we're going to go 2 for $7 for freaking hamburgers. They're hamburgers. I can go to the store. I can buy a 10-pack of those frozen patties, which, I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend. I'd recommend just getting some ground meat, ground beef, and put some pork into it and do your own stuff. But not everybody has that time to do that, right? Get some patties, put some seasonings on it, and then just chill out, you know, and put it on a grill or something, or just put it on an air fryer or a pan in the kitchen. And have a cheap bun, and then ketchup, mustard, lettuce if you can afford it, which I don't think lettuce is too expensive. Maybe a couple pickles, and that's it. I mean, maybe some onions, maybe some mushrooms if you want mushrooms, maybe a little bit of Parmesan if you want truffles, but I'm getting to my fancy stuff now. But you could have a really cheap hamburger at home if you really wanted to, and it would only take you like 15 minutes of prep time with an air fryer. Like literally, prep the air fryer, temperature, you hit the grill mode, you toss on there some hot rehydrated dry onions if you want to go down that road. That's usually what I do, or some fresh onions if you want to get fresh onions. But that's it. Maybe some a potato chopped up, fine, if you could have a little bit of like a little side of fries or something. But like, in what world are sandwiches like worth like $5-6 like at McDonald's or anything like that? Like, it's a sale when they have 2 for $7s, but it's not like it blows my mind. Like, that was a rant. I don't understand how people can value a hamburger at McDonald's or Wendy's or anywhere for like $7. It doesn't make sense. Like, you can make a cheap hamburger at home that tastes better. Like, I had a burger at Wendy's, and I know I'm ranting still. I had a burger at Wendy's a few months ago, and it was very, very good. My mom bought it for me. And it was like 2 patties, cheese, and some type of like onion crisp things on it. And you know what I did after I had that? I didn't go back to Wendy's and make another one. I literally went to the Instacart, because I get my food off of the apps. But I ordered onion crisps, like fried little onion crisps, to put on my barbecue sandwiches while they're in the air fryer. And you know what? I saved so much money by not having to do that. Those simple things. You know, you guys know I grew up like dirt poor, so I still think really frugally, even though I have money. I spend my money on Vegas. Like, when I go to Vegas, you'll see some really nice food that I eat, like a few $100 plates and shit. But that's because I'm hanging out with a friend. If I'm not hanging out with a friend and I'm not enjoying myself, I am okay eating a $3 prepared burger. Heck, I make my own bread these days. You know what it's like to make your own bread and save money? It's not even about saving money, honestly. It's about making bread is so relaxing and peaceful, and it smells so good to have the rising bread in your house. But yeah, no more talking about food, because now I'm getting hungry here, because I had lunch about 1 o'clock. But yeah, oh, it's right here. What, curly fries with the spicy, with the special spice? Yum. What do you call it? I do think curly fries are probably their best redeeming quality at Arby's. I think that's right. The last time I think I had Arby's, I know their horsey sauce is okay, but what do you call it? Nothing is worth it. Like, it's not just Arby's. Ironically enough, I will go to Taco Bell before any of the other major fast food places, which is horrible, because Taco Bell food is probably the worst food for you out of all the other food sources. Heck, I like Taco Bell more than I like Chipotle, and that's probably a really bad thing for me to say, but I don't like Chipotle as much as other people. But yeah, I do think fries can be a big game changer for a lot of different restaurants out there. Carl's $6 burger is like $11. Yeah, exactly. Things were great 2 years ago. I mean, things were a lot cheaper, that's for sure. Inflation is like, I don't think people can comprehend how bad things have gotten with inflation, unless they really look at their balance sheets, or look at their bank accounts, the account statements, excuse me. Then you realize how much more you're spending month to month versus just a couple years ago. But remember, COVID was just such a wild time, because while the government was giving us a bunch of money, there wasn't so much inflation, remember? It wasn't like it was tons of inflation while we were getting all this money from the government. It was that once the government was about to reopen up, and everybody was like, okay, there was like riots in the streets, protests saying, please open up, because at that point the science said COVID isn't as bad as we thought. Most people were vaccinated at that point, and the government was saying if you're vaccinated, you should be safe, right? Everybody was like, okay, we're about to open up any day now. But what they did is they opened up, and then Biden put, I think, as part of his campaign pledges, said, hey, if we're elected, we're going to give you one more stimulus check. And that kind of blew the top off of everything because we opened up, no more mandates, no more none of that stuff. And then we gave everybody cash on top of that, or the government gave everybody cash on top of that. That really just pushed everything all over the place. Then everybody had to buy, with China still being a lockdown. So there was a supply crunch, right? And then once we started ordering all this shit, our ports couldn't keep up with it. And then I think it was, who's the Secretary of Transportation? Buttigieg. Poor dude, I feel really bad for Buttigieg. I'm not really a fan of his, like, the guy too much because I don't like his politics when he was a mayor because he, like, didn't like black people and shit. But, what do you call it? Like, you remember the boat crisis when there was, like 100 boats off of the like, this is before the railroad stuff that we talked about. Like, you remember when there was, like, 100 boats off the coast of California, like, nobody could get into port? That type of crazy stuff was happening. I feel bad for him because he's like getting slammed, like all these airplane shit going down under his watch. Oh my gosh, a lot more chaos, that's for sure. But I think it comes down to when you think about the economy of the United States and kind of how our transport system works. I don't think Buttigieg actually is a transportation person with a background. I think he's just a mayor, right? That's the fault of the American democratic system. People like Buttigieg dropped out of the race, and therefore Biden owed him a favor. That favor was to become transportation secretary and possibly become president one day with a higher profile. Remember when Hillary Clinton gave in to Obama when Obama beat her? What do? He made her Secretary of State. Says if you get out now, you're going to get this. It's just part of politics, right? It's just part of the way the system works. Every administration does it. I think Trump did it with somebody. Yeah, Trump put Mitch McConnell's wife as the transportation secretary, although she did a pretty fair job. Elaine Chao, I think is her name. But yeah, we have this very weird system where we normally don't put the best qualified people in the positions of power because, usually when you want to have somebody that's your ally, not necessarily what's doing the best thing for that particular niche part of the government, I guess you would say. But I mean, that's the way we do it, right? Everybody does it. I mean, like every person has done it a favor every now and again. It's a bad side, but who cares? I mean, we should all care, but what does caring actually get accomplished, right? But, I mean, 2 years ago, yeah. I mean, it's just like I wish we could see like how much more expensive is stuff. Calendar? I didn't spell a lot of that stuff right. Cost of eggs 2020. Oh, Statista. Yeah, there you go. There's something like this. Right? I can allow it, yeah. Like 2015, they were pretty high. 2016, low. 2017, low. Usually when you have a spike like this, it's offset by the pickup in production, right? 2008, fine. So, we've been relatively fine. Look at that, 2022. Can I do something else, like milk or something? Milk? My milk is expensive because I get lactose intolerant milk. Milk. Yeah, prices. Oh, I need to pay for it. Oh, I wish I can get all this data for free. Hold on. Cost of milk. So cost of milk average right now is about $3.79. It looks like this is 2022. Oh, $4.20. $4.20. Okay, sorry. $4.20 2023. But back in 2016, 2019, they were around like $2, right? 2019, $2, $3. It's about 25% increase. That's a lot. I think people keep on thinking 6%, that's not too bad. 4%, that's not too bad. But when you actually put it in like perspective, things have gotten really damn expensive. Now, do I usually care all too much? No, because I usually just buy whatever I want to buy off of Instacart, and I usually don't have to worry about such things because I'm a single male who trades for a living, and I make decent money, right? But if I had if I had the pay I had at my first job when I lived in Montana when I was attending college, and I was making $8 an hour, oh, you better believe I would notice the difference of my milk going from $3 to $4 and my eggs going from like $3 to $6. You know, you'd notice it a lot more, and I think most people notice it a lot more. And so I'm wondering when that point is, which will cause this upcoming recession, where people say, well, you know what? I don't need milk. You know what? I'll be fine without milk. I don't need cereal. Cereal is like $8 a box now, when it used to be like $3 a box back when I was a kid. So that's a long time ago. But when that breaks, that's when we kind of enter into that inflation zone, or recession zone. But I don't know what tips people over that little ledge right there, though. And hey, Elijah, yes, I do know about making your own bread, and all the above is good. Fresh bread is so tasty. Oh my gosh, yeah, fresh bread is amazing. I made fresh raisin cinnamon bread yesterday, and I had toast with it this morning. Oh, no, last night, last night. I'm going to have some more toast with it tonight. Fresh raisin bread, cinnamon raisin bread, it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Thoughts on buying safe stocks and using margin on swings day trades? I probably wouldn't be using margin all too much right now, as the fees would probably add up as you kind of wait out this inflationary story, because we're still not entirely sure how much further the market really wants to go down. I'm assuming much more bearish, of course. But even the safe stocks at this point, they're more safe because you're getting dividends. And, you know, like normally, like last year when I was telling you guys what I'd be personally buying as far as like, hey, this is what I'm buying because I think inflation's going to be going higher. I don't think it's transitory. That was my tin hat for at the time, remember? Not transitory. But, you know, I told you guys I was investing in oil and healthcare. And at this point, they're still doing okay, but even those safe havens that I like, they're starting to come down a little bit. If we go over here and we just check out some like ZOM, right? Now I can go to the monthly chart here, right? Relative, it's it's been blocked off by this stuff. Let's go weekly. Let's go right here. You guys can still see it, but just let me. Yeah, there you go. It's still at a relatively good spot. Well, a lot of other stuff has been coming down. Don't get me wrong. Oil has been just energy stocks. Whoosh, good call from last year, right? This is January of this year. This is January of last year, right? And we were talking about this. What are we talking about? This is 2022. I think more around like, yeah, right around here, kind of beginning of the year when it transitory. But you see, you know, it took a while, but it eventually took off. It did take a while. But when you go over here and maybe look at some of my healthcare picks, healthcare didn't work out as well for me as I thought it would. It worked out okay, but not as much as energy. I think the oil prices really just went freaking berserk here. Not groups. I need to go to maps. What's a decent one? I guess ABT is always a classic. ABT over here, dividend of 2%, hardly any short float interest. From last year, it's pretty much break even now. We did go up, I guess, but like really not much. Remember, the inflation was over here around $100. It only went up to like $115, even with all this crazy stuff we talked about during February. It didn't really do all too well. Now, I made money on it, don't get me wrong, but that's because of dividends, and I'm still holding this at this point. I'm still holding it. But you go back over here, what else is over there? ABBV, this is probably something a little bit different. This thing actually worked out pretty well if you sold it at the right time, but again, dividend on this is 4%. I'm still holding it, and it's at a support level right now where it could actually possibly break down pretty soon. Now, these are long-term plays for me, so at the end of the day, I'm going to make money because I'm holding them for such a long time, but the dividends are what I'm looking to accumulate. But, I mean, not everything is still close to these high levels that we were looking at before. Like, maybe I can check out one more here. I guess we can go. No, I didn't really buy Pfizer. But you guys just know Pfizer, right? Gilead Sciences. I don't own this, but I know this one has worked out pretty well. Yeah, this one had a big pump up from last year. Dividend of 3.8%. This one was something I missed out a lot on. Had a big pump up towards October. Came back down slightly, but still over. You know, fairly well. Looks like it actually just had a breakdown here a while ago, so that's going to be something to watch out pretty closely. market cap of around $96 billion. So there have been some bright spots, but the majority looked like the first two I showed you. Gilead is just drug manufacturers. They're doing pretty well. There we go. But yeah, it's been an interesting cycle so far. But I would say safe stocks are usually pretty good. I like the low dividend ones for now. I mean, honestly, you could buy bonds at this point. It's kind of hard to buy bonds. I don't really buy them too often, but like, I'm sure there's some YouTube video that explains how to buy bonds. But if you go over here to the bond markets right now, look at this. Yield 4.9 for 2 months, 1 month 4.7, 3 months 5, US 4 month 5.1, 6 month 5.3, 1 month bond, 1 month treasuries. That's up a little bit. Price change up like 0.43. Yeah, the yield curve. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, you're just seeing easier ways to make money than honestly putting your money in the stock market. That's the issue here with higher interest rates. Everybody's like, well, I could just put my money to work over here and make easy money instead of having to actually try to time the market, buy this, sell this. You know what I mean? Hey, like, I haven't been watching what's going on with crypto. Where are we headed to most likely? If we have bad news as far as the jobs report tomorrow, we're probably coming back down to like 18,000, 18,500. If we have good news as far as the job report tomorrow, which I don't even know what good news means anymore, because good news is bad news is good news, and even bad news is still bad news. I'd probably say we try to hop back above somewhere around $21,000 or so. It's going to be a pretty volatile day tomorrow. And hey, Bideford, lactose-free milk? Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like here, how do I go over here? Safeway. This is usually where I will get my food. Or Albertsons or Fred Meyer. I just don't like to go to Walmart because there's too much foot traffic. If I have to drive to somewhere, it's usually Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. And Whole Foods has very good olives and berries. And Trader Joe's has really good, like, out of the ordinary foods, I would say. And then Poldo World, which is Asian, Korean Costco. And that's why I buy my whole ducks, my whole chickens, you know, stuff like that. But milk, right? Modern day economics, everybody. So for here, if I, let's 9843. Sure, let's go to that one. So if I go for the milk, see, normal milk is like around $3. The milk I get is, mine's a larger jug though. No. So if you get the half size of the milk I get, this is $5.49. So my milk is normally $5.49. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. There's milk. $7, 96 ounces. This is usually what I get. Although sometimes it's much more expensive than this. Maybe because I'm ordering through Instacart or something. Maybe. But yeah, this is usually the milk I get. I do a lot of cooking with it, but it works out pretty well for me. There we go. I sold my short position too early, otherwise I would have been in profit. Hey, Daily Bird, I would test out just using those change of character ones that we've been talking about on the 4-hour charts and see if those do you any good. Have a pretty loose stop loss with them, if you ask me, like something around like 4 or 5%, and see how they do. Sorry, Loki got up really fast. He probably heard somebody dropping off a package. Regeneron is the only health-related I own, and it cost them 80 cents to make, $9.20, and they constantly have buybacks. Buybacks are usually pretty good. Even though Biden's going after buybacks, there's going to be nothing as far as buybacks is concerned with the House that's controlled by the Republicans. Buybacks are too important for corporations because it allows them to reinvest back into the company, and therefore they can do other stuff with it, right? A lot of times when companies take on debt, they use their own shares as collateral. And so if they don't have enough shares, it can be problematic. I should try to find a video about the pros and cons of doing buybacks, because there are cons to it, don't get me wrong, but I wonder if there's a video out there that does the pros and the cons, because I don't want to make one, but I feel like there's one out there, right? And hey, Wilder Studios, is 20K our support level? I would say at this point, since we just broke down below it pretty easily after a pretty big dip, I would say that our support level happens to be, the 20-day, the 200. The 200 daily moving average, I would say the 200 daily moving average is what we're looking at, because it's actually the same thing we're looking at as far as Ethereum. Ethereum just broke down, and now we're trying to hover over the 200 daily moving average here as well. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, I'd say that 200 daily. Oh, snap. See, when I sneeze, my throat hurts really, really bad. I'm not good at sneezing properly. 20,000 is right here-ish. Well, my thing is, we fell down below that just for the past few minutes. I know my ears are ringing after sneezing. See, I'm not good at sneezing, everybody. I've been holding AT&T forever, and it feels like a value trap. Might sell, but I like the dividend. That's why everybody holds AT&T. Everybody likes AT&T because of the dividends. Everybody. AT&T is definitely part of a large amount of retirement accounts out there. Just a large amount of them. Oh, hello. Did you want a treat, little guy? Let's go over here. Want a treat? You guys say hi there, buddy. Let me scoot over here. There you go. Dude, you're drooling on me. Okay. My bad. Good boy. Well, I tempted him too much. It's my my fault over here. But yeah, what we're just talking about, AT&T, it's in a large amount of retirement accounts just because of those that portfolio. Let me see. Let me check it out very fast. AT&T. I don't even think the last time I checked it out. Wait, what is AT&T's? But it's not AT&T. What the? Okay, let me just go over here. T. Invis it is. I'm blowing a blank on this one. Not store, stock. Oh, it's just T. See, I know I was blanking out somewhere. Okay, there we go. T. Thank you, Slick Rick. Thanks. Let's check out the weekly. Let's go monthly. Monthly death crosses. Ouch. Ooh, this did make a lower. No, it didn't. Yeah, it did. Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe if you were a little bit more worried and wanted to sell out, maybe you could try to have a stop loss around 1423 or so. But it's in a pretty sturdy downtrend right now for the past, I don't know, how long? How long has this been? This first one has been since 2020. That's been about, what is that, 38 months. So that's not good. The other downtrend that has been in here for a while as well is from all the way over here. That one's been for about 80 months. That's years. That's all the way back from here from 2016. Right? Larger downtrend. Oh, it's been in a downtrend forever. I don't know. Since the 2000s, it looks like. Right? You had your downtrend. Uptrend broken right there. Yeah. I would still collect the dividend, honestly, but you're going to have to start being more perceptive of it, especially if it decides to break down below the $14.23. Maybe it'd be okay opportunity just to cut your losses and just move on from it. I don't know what AT&T could do to make more money. Like, personally, I use AT&T. I think it's incredibly overpriced. Incredibly overpriced. I think, I don't know how much my thing is, but all the dirty, nasty fees they give you, and you don't even know how much it's supposed to cost until the end of the month. It can be kind of annoying. So I don't know what they can do to really make a lot more money to justify their stock price, potentially going back up here to $30, $40, $50, besides just the general economy kind of picking up. Because every time I hop online, I don't see advertisements for AT&T or what's the other one called, Verizon, that much. I'm on the computer and TV more, like streaming more than I do, what would you want to call it? Browsing through cable television. I mostly see videos and commercials for what's that guy's thing? Mint Mobile. I forget the names. It's not Henry Cavill. You might see his face here. No. But it's affordable. It's affordable. Mint Mobile's affordable. I forget that guy's name. The Green Lantern. Not the cool black one. The weird white guy. This guy. Whoever that guy is. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds. So, I don't think AT&T's model is going to last for too much longer. They're going to have to start slashing their prices because they're just too freaking expensive for, I think, what they offer, and with all these new companies coming up and just basically undercutting their prices, but using their same networks. So they use the Verizon network, they use the AT&T network, they use the T-Mobile networks, but they're just saying, hey, we won't skim we'll take less of a profit margin because of it, and we'll be just okay, and we'll still be able to make money. That's what they're doing. And I don't know how exactly long that's going to work, but it's working now for them. And hey, Wilder Studios, yeah, Loki's pretty cute. He's somewhere now. But he's very good dog. You notice how he didn't try to snatch it out of my hand afterwards? He kept on just trying to play it, and then he started drooling, and I was like, okay. Oh, I called his name, now he's over here. You guys can say hi. Okay, it's okay. Come here. Yeah, he's trying to go around me. Oh. Hi. Did you want another treat? Hello. Oh, now he wants to come over here. Hello. He's trying to decide how he wants to climb up, but... You being good boy? 1, 2, 3, good boy. Didn't wait that time. Yeah, he's a good dog. We just went on a walk earlier today. Right after I had lunch around like 1 o'clock after the first stream was done, we talked for a little bit, and after we were done talking, I took him outside and we walked around the neighborhood a few times. We said hi to some of the neighbor dogs, and then some like really nasty dog tried to bite him, and then Loki like tried to bite his head off. But Loki's very good until another dog threatens him, as he should be. I think he should be learned to be aggressive when he needs to be, especially because Loki's killed a few rabbits now. He likes to eat them. But let's see. And hey, Alex, my day was pretty good, my man. I streamed earlier today. I woke up a little bit later. I went to visit my mom this morning. I said hi to her caregiver. Hi to my mom. I brought my mom over some raisin bread that I told you I made the other day, some raisin cinnamon bread. And then I looked at the charts, went live with you guys, chilled out for a while, ate some lunch, went on a walk with Loki, watched some CNBC. A walk, yeah. Oh, then my mom called me to pick her up from dialysis because she didn't feel well, and then I dropped her off. Then me and Loki did something, I don't know. I went back to, I listened for like a straight half an hour. I listened to music by Christian 10, who's an orchestrator, whatever you call them, who does a lot of good music for the Civilization games. It was pretty good. And hey, Alex, I really do appreciate it a lot. Oh, and guys, I don't think you guys realize this, or maybe you guys have at this point. When I switched over to this new concept where I had the green screen behind me, I totally forgot that I turned off my my alert box. So every time you guys subscribe now, and every time you guys do super chats, you guys will see it back up here. So I appreciate it a lot, Alex. Thank you very much. I will replay that one here. Although I might need to turn down the little ding-a-ling-a-ling thing on it. But thank you very much, Alex. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for the input. Could they grow with fiber? There's a chance. There's a chance. But I don't know if they're going to be making too much more of a profit off of it, if that makes sense. They're going to have to find another avenue with that. Heck, maybe they can get into the world of AI or something. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be more mergers when it comes to cell phones over the next few years. I feel like you could have a T-Mobile merger with, you know how they just merged with Sprint? T-Mobile with Verizon, something like a master, you know, something really, really huge. But, I mean, that's going to be hard with the Justice Department the way it is right now. Like, Joe Biden would have to be out of office, and there'd have to be Merrick Garland had to be out of office because Merrick Garland's cracking down on a whole bunch of stuff, even stuff that doesn't even feel like it's like that. Like I think Merrick Garland's going after the JetBlue Frontier merger. I think that's what it is, or no, JetBlue Spirit merger. Like I don't know why he's attacking that merger. Like there's nothing bad about having the low cost ones come together. I like the ability to go on low cost flights. Typically, I fly first class with Alaskan Airline, then Delta Airline. I'm doing my first Spirit flight at the end of this month when I go to Vegas. I'm so excited to see if it's as bad as people say or if it's as good. But I wanted a cheap ticket because it was a short-term flight and I didn't really know exactly when I was going to do it, so I wanted to be able to change stuff. But it cost me like $200, $250, something like that, to have a first class seat with no amenities on top of it. So I'm not taking any bags or anything like that. I'm just taking a backpack with some clothes in it, a camera, a microphone, and I believe that's it. And the clothes on my body. That's all I'm taking to Vegas. If I need an extra shirt, I'll buy an extra shirt down there. I don't care. But it'll be my first ever Spirit flight. And all I've ever seen on TikTok is the Spirit flights that get really crazy out of hand, and when they're going to Las Vegas or they're going to Miami. I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm not going to Miami, but I'm really interested to see how it is. I got their big boy seat, which is like an extra $75 a seat. But again, at the end of the day, I'm paying like $200, $250 for that seat. When I go to, if I go to Vegas normally and I'm like preparing and it's like a work trip and I have everything kind of more formalized and I'm not just going to go visit a friend, it's like $900 for a first class ticket down to Vegas from Seattle. So I want to see if it's actually worth it, because when I normally go to Vegas, I will get my ticket from the lady when I check in my bags in the first class line for checking in bags, and then I'll go to the first class security line, which is pretty chill, and then from there I'll go into the Alaskan lounge, and then I'll chill out. I'll get some free cookies and food at the buffet, some drinks maybe. Usually I'm just getting free cookies because I love their cookies and they have really good salads there. So healthy thing with unhealthy thing. Then I'll sit down at one of their chairs and look at the runway so I can kind of watch the planes while I'm on my phone watching anime and have my phone charger in, right? Then I'll go, right before my flight catches off, I'll just go hop in the first class line so I don't have to wait forever. Go in the plane, get into my seat. The lady will come up to me once most people are sitting down and they're kind of like taxiing along the runway. She'll come up and says, "Hey, Mr. Whitman, what would you like for your meal for the day? Would you like the the hot meal, the cold meal? We have they got so much weird food on the planes, but I usually just say the cold meal, like the crackers, the cheese, and the berries and stuff that they give you. Berries, whoa. And then after that, they get like unlimited drinks. Unlimited drinks. It's freaking awesome. So, and then I'm like, pretty much drunk on my whole flight as I'm watching something on my laptop, like Lord of the Rings, like I told you guys yesterday. And then the same thing when I get back, right? Same thing on the way back. And then I get my luggage first before everybody else on the flight as well. First class luggage perks. Now, with Spirit, it's totally wild, wild west. All I'm paying extra for is the seat. That is it. The seat, and I believe I'm in the first zone to get boarded. That's really it. But they have these like big boy seats on it, which are pretty interesting. Big seats, Spirit Airline. But I've never ridden in them before, so I don't exactly know if they're good or not. Is the Spirit Airline big seat front worth it? I don't know if they have another picture of it. Is this it? So yeah, you can have this or this. I like the idea of just having a bigger seat here. I would definitely take it. And I got the first seat next to the window, so I'm in like 1A or some shit like that. So I'm pretty excited to see what it looks like. Maybe I can go to the proper image here. Yeah, so there's seats like this. Larger seats, more room. Otherwise, you're taking the standard Spirit seats, which are Spirit seats. Oh, I didn't spell that right. But I did spell it right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm getting into those seats, and I ain't getting into those seats. Those seats look freaking horrible. Like, see? Those seats or these seats. I'd like the big boy seats, obviously. So I'm curious to see how it's all going to work out. But part of me never actually goes on flight. I've never been on a Spirit flight before. I have no idea what it's like. But I see it's cheaper. But I have no idea if like the whole process of going through all this extra steps is going to tick me off even more. Like I would never fly Spirit if I actually had to check in bags. Whole different experience. If I check in bags, it'll be Alaska first class flight. But again, I'm nerding out about going on Spirit because I've just heard so many crazy stories that like maybe I'll see something really crazy, some drama go on a plane or something. Hey Mike, can I keep DCA on Doge holding for a while? Yeah, I would keep doing it, but I wouldn't try to change your schedule at all unless you're more worried about anything going on. As long as it's not affecting your ability to pay your bills and stuff like that, I would keep on DCAing at all the coins you're currently at. Although I would try to do quarterly or monthly reviews where you're saying, hey, maybe I don't want to spend as much money on Ethereum Classic this week, maybe a month. Maybe I want to spend a little bit more money on Dogecoin Mars. I want to spend more money on Litecoin. I want to move money around a little bit, okay? I would always do those quarterly reviews and just say, hey, and move your money around as you see fit. But yeah, dollar cost averaging is still going to be the best thing you could do. I would still say dollar cost average Dogecoin, any coin out there, rather than just trying to buy bulk into it. I know a couple people that tried to buy bulk into Dogecoin, not Dogecoin, Bitcoin just a few weeks ago at 25,000 because they thought we were heading into a bull market. And I didn't. I said I don't think they should do it, but I says I'm not going to stop you. And they said they heard it from one of the bigger YouTubers out there in the crypto space. He's a chill guy, but he has some really bad advice sometimes. But here that bull market's in range. Now we're not going to be going back down for a while, and we're not going to be when the economy is going to be just fine. There's no recession after all, basically talk. And all of a sudden, boom, we have all this type of stuff. That now he's like probably haven't talked to him since, but he's probably really ticked off, right? He's probably really ticked off. Would you want to do you want me to throw this? Okay. Definitely need that seat if you're going to Vegas. Well, a 5-hour flight from New York to Vegas. Ooh, mine's like a 2.5-hour flight. I think maybe just 2-hour flight from Seattle to Vegas. But I like to have those cheap flights. What I wanted to try, there was a cheap private jet type of service. I don't know if you guys have heard this. They used to be in Seattle. I guess they stopped. Like luxury seats, or somehow luxury seats from Seattle to Vegas. But I think they were just in like LA to Vegas, or maybe Texas to Vegas now. Luxury flight. Cali to Vegas. I really forget what the name of their thing is called. It's not a private jet. Flexo, no. I'll have to remember it. Just Fly, Points Guy, no. Semi-private flights to Vegas. Flexo. Oh, JSX. It's right here. JSX. It's pretty interesting. So they have their own hangars, so everything is done inside the hangars. But see, they'll go to Vegas over here, but they're no longer in Washington. But the planes are like. They're more like this, right? So I'd prefer to have a larger seat if possible. This is why I never took one when I think they were in Seattle. But I think, yeah, see, they have more luxury ones like this, where it's just one seat on each side, but one has cup holders, one doesn't. Maybe they're both cup holders for the same side. I don't know. But and they're not too expensive, like $300. I think they're like but you check in your own bag, everything's pretty simple. If they had a plane like that, I'd be okay with it. Look at this right here. Look at that. Look at all that legroom. Look at all that legroom. He has his legs stick out. So I'd be fine with that. And I think you could even take your dogs on this flight. If I could buy Loki a seat on this plane, I would. Yeah, he hears me over here. He's like, yeah, I want to go on a plane too. This might be a dumb question, but where do you execute your trades? Can you do it on TradingView or BitGet? You mentioned that you don't do swapping. Is there a better way without gas fees? Oh, where? So you're talking about the exchanges. Well, it all depends on which exchange you can actually get access to. So up until maybe 5-6 months ago, I was using a lot of BitGet and Binance. And that's because Binance at the time was, still no FUD really going on with them, except for the FTX stuff. But that was more November. And then BitGet was still allowed in the United States. BitGet isn't really allowed in the United States right now. It's kind of like more mixed, I would say. But I moved over some money to BingX after I talked with them for a little bit to see if I can do some trading on their platform. But I would say most of the time it's going to be like a Binance or a KuCoin. You just want to be able to know, like, how do I say this? If you do have money on these exchanges and you are going to be trading, so like you want to have, you want to be able to trade a lot of different currencies out there, usually KuCoin, Binance, BingX, Fairdesk, because I think that's something new. I'm talking to Fairdesk right now, see if I can see if they're okay, but I'm trying to vet them first. But those are all different exchanges you can use, but I would say for now just stick with Binance and KuCoin. The thing is, if you're in any one of these exchanges, regardless of which one you choose, you always want to just be aware of what's being said about it on Twitter. Not so much the FUD stuff, but like if there's some type of crisis in Bitcoin where Bitcoin plummets like 10% in one day or something like that, it's kind of worth it to pull out some of your money out of Binance just out of caution. Same with KuCoin, same with BingX, same with BitGet, same with anything, okay? You don't want to put all of your investing capital into one exchange just in fear that it may go down one day, okay? Now, if you're just wanting to trade crypto, KuCoin, BingX, Binance, all solid options out there for you. If you just want to trade Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Matic and Ethereum, just open up a Robinhood account if you're just trying to trade those things. Just, don't bother with going through the KYC process that you're going to be getting with Binance and stuff. Or Webull if you just want to keep it to a few coins. But if you want access to a lot of different tokens out there, Binance US is probably going to be your best bet. KuCoin, BingX, and so forth here. Let me send out. I got to send out another email to Fairdesk because whatever person I'm working with now, they don't email me back promptly, and I don't like people that don't email back promptly. I feel like it's annoying to me. Slightly disrespectful, but just more annoying. Especially since for ADHD, I want to get everything, ducks, I's dotted and T's crossed, so to speak. But I'll message them and see if I can talk to somebody else because I know they want to talk to me, but I just keep on waiting for whoever that one person is to email me back. Oh, that's a big difference. I thought they were the same. Let's see. If you want to go swapping, you're probably gonna have to use something like a Uniswap or a MetaMask and stuff like that. I think Uniswap is probably what I've used the majority of my time with. I don't like swapping personally. I just hate swapping. I hate it. I hate paying gas fees, so I don't really swap too much. If you want to do gas fees and do like for newer coins out there, now is an okay time to buy because gas fees are so much cheaper. But think about how much money you want to invest in a coin. Put that money into a token, then don't buy it anymore. Don't dollar cost average swaps. Don't do none of that crap. Just buy a couple $100 worth, $500, $1,000, whatever you want to use. Buy it and just sit on your hands and don't touch that for a while. Just make sure it's in your portfolio and you'll see what happens with it down the road. If it turns into something great, awesome. If it doesn't, okay, you lost some money, but at least you didn't have to keep on dollar cost averaging into it and wasting money on fees. New York to Vegas, 3 hours. No way you can just Google it. New York to Vegas, 3 hours. 3 hours. That seems kind of short. I remember like when I go to Philadelphia or East Coast, like Georgia stuff, I know it's like 5 hour flights, 4 hours, 45 minutes to 5.5 hours, depending on how the wind's kind of flowing against us. But I know it's a pretty long trip over there. I've been there 2 years ago. Prime XBT legit. Oh, Isaac says Prime XBG is legit as well. And thanks, Daniel. Thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate it. Like here, because I know when I go to Vegas, I still haven't even, let me see. I know. Expedia. No, stays. Las Vegas. I'm going to be there for there to there. Done. Oh, it's one room, one traveler. Wonder how expensive everything is right now. Pool season just opened up in Las Vegas, I hear too, so that'd be kind of nice. But not too expensive. It's well, that's expensive. Oh my gosh, Mandalay Bay, $451 a night. What the heck is going on? Four Seasons Hotel, $854 a night. Something must be going on if everything's getting charged so much. $85 for the Excalibur. I've never been to the Excalibur. I think I went to the Luxor once. I think this is Luxor. Yeah, I've never stayed there, but I've walked inside because I wanted to see what the pyramid looked like. The rooms freaked me out though because the rooms like on the inside of the pyramid, it really freaked me out. I wasn't used to that concept. Desert Rose, that's not too bad. $23 for Oyo Hotel. Last time I was in Vegas, I found a really cheap place. $155 Flamingo. That's not bad. $214. The last time I went there, it was what did I say? I said on Fremont Street. Found like a really cheap spot because I'd never been on Fremont Street before. What was it? $45 here? No, Plaza. $3, 78. Golden Nugget. No. It was somewhere over here. Who knows what it was? Somewhere over here. Probably more expensive now. I have no idea. The D. But what do you call? I might stay over here this time as well because my friend wants to experience Fremont Street. So if we're drunk and like walking down Fremont Street, might as well just have a quick, easy place to crash, or we'll just take an Uber back to one of the hotels over here. Depends on what he wants to do. But normally I stay at the Venetian, but the Venetian is booked solid the week I'm going because of the convention that I might be. Well, the convention I am attending down there. It's in the Venetian Expo. So if you go over here, what is that? Auras. Might have Tucson. Yeah, you can't even see it because it's booked. Yeah, Venetian was sold out. Venetian's awesome though. Last time I went here, I got the what do you call the room? Oh, it was in the Palazzo actually, but they got some really nice rooms here. Technically, I've actually never stayed in the Venetian. Now that I think about it, every time I booked for the Venetian, they've upgraded me to the Palazzo every single time. But like, look how beautiful that is. That's absolutely gorgeous. Although it is never that gorgeous because there's always freaking too many people running around over there. Fremont Street is nice, open bars everywhere. Exactly. Especially since my friend wants to go with me to some restaurants. I'm starting off Sunday alone because he gets there Monday. But I'm going to be going to Francisco Italiano, I think it is. That's at the Westgate. Then I just want my lasagna. They have great lasagna there. And then afterwards, we're going to some steakhouse. Then after the steakhouse, we're going to some ocean seafood place. The seafood place I know is going to be good, but I laugh at it because a lot of the seafood that comes into that Las Vegas store is like made like literally within like 10 miles of where I live. So I'm like, I could just go buy the oysters from them, and the mussels and everything from them over there, or I could go fly down to Vegas, eat them like 10x the price for them. But I want the experience in Vegas, so who cares? My friend hasn't had them before either, so a lot of nice West Coast shellfish. Oh, and Charts News says, I use BTC Exchange. They've been around for 12 years and are regulatory compliant. I use them for long and short trades, about 20x leverage. And you can trade tokenized stocks in gold and silver too. That reminds me a little bit of Alpaca. I'll look at Chart News. I'll look at BTC Exchange too. Maybe I can, they could sponsor the channel, something like that. Especially if they're US compliant. I have been looking to get sponsored by a US compliant exchange for a while now. Loki's really excited, guys. He's super excited. There we go. All right. There you go. But okay, everybody, I might as well end the stream here. There's not much happening. We're still breaking down the support levels for a lot of different asset classes out there, like Ethereum and Bitcoin happen to be that 200 weekly moving average. I'll hop on board the stream to stream with you guys tomorrow. I'm probably going to be doing two streams a day for the next few days, especially as we have all this news coming out. If the market is very, very volatile tomorrow as well, I'll probably hop on as it gets more volatile. But it probably won't be too early since tomorrow I'm going to probably have to go pick up my mom's car in the morning from Dallas and drive back over her with the help of my sister, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. I got to figure out how to get my mom's car back to her since I picked it up today. But yeah, we'll see you guys a little bit later. Loki says hello as always. If I can put my head up here a little bit more. Loki! Oh, look at you being a good boy. Yeah, she's a big boy. Oh, he saw the camera or something. Ah. Yeah. You can see him being very, very good. When I put my hands to him, sometimes he thinks it is like, hey, I'm asking him to calm down, which I accidentally trained him to do. But he does it very well, right? He does it very well. But okay, everybody. See you guys a little bit later. Guys, as bad as it is, we'll be fine. Just keep on dollar cost averaging. If you guys are looking for another trading opportunity, I don't think this is really it for the most part. unless you guys are trying to buy again for the short-term plays here. I'm going to be looking to do some copy trading with you guys with a change of characters. They seem to be very, very useful so far, and I'll let you guys know